And everyone, just give me a moment. My computer is moving extremely slow today. Hello.
I'm so glad to see you sitting here. You don't have to take a vacation for us to learn to read.
Well, you know, absence make the heart grow fonder. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, but I can't take that.
All right, everyone. Happy Monday. My understanding is that all this week it's supposed to be above 100 degrees. So everyone, let's try to be nice to each other, and hopefully the docket will run smoothly. I'm going to call the names of those who are accused or the defendants. Attorneys, if your client is in custody, their name will not be called. So these are the rules of the 187 District Court. For attorneys, before you approach the bench, you need to approach the clerk, have the clerk give your file to me. The clerk will put those files in order. Even though we are in person, I still try to keep us socially distanced as much as possible. So once the clerk gives the file to the court, please just take your seat. I will call you up because I will see your file, and your file will be will proceed in the order in which I received the file. So everyone, let's have a great day. To those, when I call your name, please stand, let me know you are here. If you do not let me know you are here, then I'm going to assume you are not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. David Hernandez. Thank you. April Terrell.
I think she's still in Guadalupe County. She's listening for me.
All right. As soon as I finish calling the docket, just check with the coordinator with that.
Yes.
Clinton Bradley. Clinton Bradley. Mark Rodriguez. Mark Rodriguez. Patrick Vargas. Patrick Vargas. All right, let's check on that to make sure. If Tyrell Shirley is here, your case has been reset for June 23rd. And could you make sure I have that file, please? Aaron Decollette. Thank you. Oh, just give us a moment. Thank you. Jesus Garza. Okay. And could you have the files on that up here as well? Mariah Blanton. Thank you. Daniel Flores. Thank you. Philippe Salazar. Sean Foster. Sean Foster. Josara Pyrus. Thank you. David Garcia. David Garcia. Robert Guevara. Robert Guevara.
He's in jail, Judge.
Mariah Blanton. Mariah Blanton, thank you. Abel Montez. Abel Montez.
Here, this side.
Rodriguez Hasso Rojas.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here for Mr. Hassel. We have no contact with him, Judge, but I understand that he was arrested on Thursday.
All right, we'll check into that. Samantha Lopez. Samantha Lopez. Ricardo Martinez. All right, thank you. And did you file a notice on that one? All right, thank you. Albert Villarreal. Albert Villarreal. Stephen Acosta. Stephen Acosta.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you. Alex Cariaga. Alex Cariaga. Alan Barrera. Alan Barrera. I'm sorry, Alma Barrera. Where are you? Thank you. Nicholas Henderson. Nicholas Henderson. Thomas Manning. Thank you. Jose Gomez. Jose Gomez. Jesus Monreal. Jesus Monreal.
He's in jail, Judge.
Sarah Geldin.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for not letting me struggle with your last name. How do you pronounce your last name?
Abdelatin.
All right, I'm gonna do better next time. Sean Chrisman. Sean Chrisman. Anthony Ortiz. Oh, that's jail. Miguel Rangel. Miguel Rangel. So everyone who is on the first row, if you could move from that first row that's behind the attorneys, please. And if you could keep that row open. Deputy Laura, if you could make sure that when these persons appear that they're put on that row instead of in the box.
Yes, Judge.
Clinton Bradley, Mark Rodriguez, Sean Foster, David Garcia, Abel Montez, Ricardo Martinez, Albert Villarreal, Alex Cariaga, Nicholas Henderson, Thomas Manning, Jose Gomez, Sean Chrisman. All right, is there anyone present whose name was not called? All right, to those of you who your attorney is not here, just be patient. They'll be here as soon as they have finished in other courts, or they may have to have Zoom in other courts. So everyone put some patience in your pocket. It's going to be a great Monday. Let's not turn it into a difficult Monday. Please confer.
Welcome back, Judge.
Oh, thank you.
We missed you.
Oh, that's so nice to be missed.
I didn't see a notice of appearance. I did do his bond, but I'll make sure those gets contacted.
All right, thank you.
Stop talking back there. Oh, terrible. Yeah, I was thinking just staff rate was already pending. I'm actually putting out. Sorry, I was trying to figure.
Those are nice.
Okay. You know, I try to write them like that.
Sometimes you're responsible for writing up your own.
She's not here yet, so she hasn't been bothered.
Yeah, she everything.
So how long?
I could. 5:25.
So. I It's kind of like a these I mean, the big picture, yeah. I'm not. We just started.
Oh, my phone's back?
Sure. I know Dave's not. We have a.
All right, is someone? Are you here, Jose?
Yes.
Oh, there's a line right there.
Sorry about
That's okay. All right, if everyone could please make sure you keep your voices lowered. So you're here on Jose Maria Chavasas?
Yes, Judge.
All right, what's going on with that?
I believe we were set for just a status hearing or a status check on this DNA. There's really nothing of substance. We have been keeping David McLean in the loop with all of this, but there's no real updates at this point since the last time that we spoke. The lab is still in the process of testing. So that was kind of where we were previously. The reason why we wanted to approach quickly this morning is we actually ended up kind of double booked in multiple places. But so we wanted to just go ahead and let you know that the process is not halted or anything. It's just still moving.
All right, so do you have any idea when the laboratory work will be completed?
They tend to be pretty good about our stuff, but across the board, post-conviction does not get prioritized above pending cases. And so they are usually pretty reluctant to give us a firm date and time, but it's always, they're working on it, they're gonna get to it as quick as they can. I can ask for some sort of firm date if you'd like, Judge.
All right, what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna give it, tentatively, I'm gonna say 60 days, but I want to speak with David McLean to see if he's okay with that. So you all are excused. I'm gonna see about a 60-day reset and Ms. Ferguson will let you know.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll see if, can you get in touch with David McLean, if you could just call him and see if he's okay with the 60-day reset? And I'm assuming Jose Cavazos, he's not here, he's still in
No, I
custody,
believe
correct?
it's in TCJ.
Okay. All right, so let me just see if the 60-day reset is okay with him. If it is, we will take that up. And so everyone, once I have your file, if you'll take a seat so the well doesn't get crowded. Whomever I'm talking to. Trust me, he puts it in order. And you know how sometimes when we were attorneys, you would be first up, but then other things would get piled on top and you'd been not here. That doesn't happen. Yes. That doesn't happen here. So just 1 second, she's checking to see with him. So where else are you guys on your way to?
So there's at the end of this, at the end of this week, we've got a hearing in another court. We've got to meet with some people on, but then outside of that, we're also working with the Innocence Project on another case. And we have a meeting with their people because they've got a podcast team that wants to come in and record part of that and talk about what we're doing. It's a really
Everybody in
interesting
that
case.
podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so we have an agreement in that case to actual innocence relief. And they want to come in and kind of document, like, how did we get there? How's the court going to treat it? What do we need to put on? It's a really interesting case from the late 80s, early 90s, period of, they're calling it satanic panic, where there were a lot of law enforcement investigations that were driven by the notion of satanic ritual and the occult and trying to tie the defendant to something like that. And so they were led to believe that this defendant had a lot of that on his property. But then when the FBI got out there and searched it, there was no indication of satanic practices.
Well, you're gonna be a part of a Lifetime movie. You need to figure out who's gonna play you guys. All right, what day? You're like, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so who will play you in the Lifetime
Oh,
movie?
I have no idea.
You better pick somebody.
We're such minor
Brenda,
players in this market.
don't you get a choice of who plays you in the Lifetime movie?
I would hope so.
All right, August 15th.
Perfect. That sounds good.
And so I'll put in the file that there's supposed to be an update on DNA. And if you find out beforehand that it's gonna be later than that, let me know.
Of course. And just so you're aware, Judge, when we do have those results, the lab has been instructed to send a copy to you, to Mr. McLean, and to our office. So you will receive a copy of that concurrently when we do. And so if anything happens sooner, I'll let you know via email or let you know, get in touch with the report. But you'll also get your own copy of the results as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. You guys have a great one. Bye-bye. Oh, excuse me. What is his name, Nolan? Excuse me. Sir? Yes. Hi, just 1 second. No problem. I never met you.
I'm sorry, Hank Wilkins, how are you?
Hank Wilkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought I should introduce myself earlier, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but your call out was great. Oh, no, the deputy's like, excuse me. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Yeah.
Hank joined the CIU in October, just last year.
Okay, awesome.
And
I
so,
think I've seen him in the hallway, but I just never formally met him.
Right on, I'm sorry, I should have come and said
Oh,
hi.
no problem. I always try to remember names and faces.
What, and the last time we were via Zoom and I couldn't get my microphone to work, so I was saying hi and it was, anyway, it's, it's technologically challenged a little bit.
No problem. All right, have a great Monday. See, now I'll remember your name.
Yes, ma'am, nice to meet you.
You too.
Good to meet
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joe. They may end up in, or they.
Okay.
Always,
Jasara Pyrus. Jasara Pyrus.
We're here on that. It's our first setting. We do have an offer. And we'd ask that the court reset us. I have a couple night setting cases at 9:30, open to 27 and impact.
All right, do you have all the discovery in
We
this
do.
case?
He'll be here. Yeah.
And was the offer tendered today?
Sorry.
Was the offer tendered today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Jasara Pyrus, please.
Is the file in there?
All right, July 6th will be your plea deadline date. Ms. Pyrus, what that means is you need to let the court know on that date whether or not you're accepting the plea bargain agreement. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, then the court coordinator will give you a reset form. And Norma, could you make sure that reset form notates that that's the plea deadline date, please? Brenda, do you see what page she is on?
What was the name?
Pyrus, 11. Thank you.
Nonetheless, well, I guess that'll be a question for the judge.
April Terrell. All right, my understanding she hasn't, good morning, my understanding she hasn't made it back here.
She's not. And we really need to resolve this before she resolves whatever she's got in Guadalupe County.
Okay, so is she bench warranted here? I don't understand. Why don't we just do a Zoom? Do they not have Zoom capabilities? Who is that?
Oh, no, I would do it by Zoom if we could.
All right, Norma, let's set up the Zoom. When do can we get it done if we're doing it?
Yeah.
All right, I tell you what, come back this afternoon. Come back this afternoon and we'll see when we can get her here.
Okay, can I go to Comal County and come back?
Yes, so it's just, I'm not expecting Norma to have the Zoom done by this afternoon, but I want a date for him when we could actually do it by Zoom.
Can I call her as opposed to coming back? Norma and I have good communication by email. Is that
All
okay,
right,
Judge?
yes,
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
you're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes,
Thank you.
all right, that's the,
Then big one is active. Do you want me to find?
Could we come to an
no, we shouldn't be doing a bench warrant.
I'll call him.
Rodrigo Hasos Rojas. Rodrigo Hasos. Oh, just have a seat. For some reason, you're turning, yes,
Actually, Judge, I'm actually there on Mr. Hostler.
yes, I have a file,
Oh,
the court file.
Yes,
Yes, what,
Judge, on Mr. Hostler, as I told you, Judge, he had been arrested on Thursday. He's got 2 new cases that are awaiting indictment out of your court. And wanted to get a reset on it. I'm going to meet with some of his family members this afternoon in the office. But he's got 2 brand new cases that happen.
okay, is everybody speaking low or is my allergies really messed up?
It's hard for me to hear.
All right, so, yes,
Good judge. Mr. Hassel was arrested on Thursday on 2 new charges. We have an indicted charge out of your court that was set for this morning. And what I needed to ask the court is for some time to let me look at the other 2 cases. I'm meeting with some of his family members this afternoon at the office.
so what other new cases does he have that are not listed on the docket sheet?
Judge, I believe one is a violation of a protective order and continuous assault case.
All right, is there family violence prosecutor available? What is happening with Rodrigo Hasos Rojas? I know this is the first setting.
He was just arrested June 2nd on the new cases. I'm looking to see if they're on Verific even yet, what discovery we have. But yeah. I wouldn't expect that everything would be on there just 4 days later. But yeah, he's got 2 new pending felonies.
All right, and so what are we doing with the bond issues? Because Mr. Rojas Hasso, the court has a concern because you're indicted in this court for violation of bond, protective order, assault. Could you have Mr. Hasso come down, please? All right, Mr. Hassos, the court has a concern, and this is my concern. My concern is you're indicted in this court for a violation of bond or protective order, right? I don't take any of this as true because nobody's presented any facts to me. All I know is what you're charged with. But on the docketing sheet, it shows that you have a terrorist threat, a resisting arrest, and interference with emergency telephone call. Now I'm being told that there are 2 other cases and I'm assuming these 2 new cases occurred after the case that he's indicted for?
Yes, just on June 2nd. I can pull up those case numbers if the court would want them.
All right, and what are those 2 new cases?
Violation bond protective order felony and continuous violence against a family member.
All right, and what is his bond set on this case?
Let me check.
Thank you. And the court is in receipt of a violation report. Defense, have you received the violation report?
Yes, I have done.
All right, so we're going to hear that violation report. And he is remanded without bond out of County Court 4. He has bond in other cases. So the question is, what am I going to do with this violation report for this offense? You understand?
Judge, on this case, looks like Judge Angelini increased, the original bond was 10,000 and Judge Angelini increased it on June 3rd to 20,000.
All right. Did y'all get the violation report filled out by Judge Angelini? Because why do I have a blank one in the file? Are there any conditions with regards to that?
Looks like-
On the other case, he was on GPS. And what happened was that he cut his GPS bracelet. That's why it triggered all kinds of problems for him. He's on full house arrest as a pretrial conditions on the other cases. And GPS as well.
Oh. So here's the court's problem. If you all want to have a hearing on this, we can have a hearing on it. But he needs to be remanded without bond on this case. Because I'm not sure if Judge Angelini was aware that he had previously cut off the GPS monitor. So I have an issue. You cut off the GPS monitor and you keep picking up violent offenses. I'm not saying any of that is true because I don't have any facts. But I think for the protection of society and for your protection and not picking up more cases, you should not be, outside of custody. And if you want to have a hearing on that, we can have a hearing on that. In the state, you can present whatever the evidence you wish to present. but I'm remanding him without bond.
Judge, and that hearing date would be when, Judge?
Pardon?
That hearing date would be when?
Whenever you all are ready to have the hearing.
Yeah. just file yours.
If you all want to confer on a date, just confer with Ms. Ferguson and we will do that. For now, I'm going to reset it for 30 days, but your attorney and the state will come to me with a new date sooner than that, potentially for when they want to have a hearing on this remand without bond.
And Judge, also for the court to know that the other two new cases that were just picked up on Thursday, those were set for July 5th in your court as well. So if you want to set this whole thing for July 5th, that would work out.
All right, and state, how many witnesses do you anticipate?
I wouldn't think more than a couple, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, are we able to put this on July 5th for a hearing on the remand without bond? Put that in the system, please. All right, so we're going to recall it on July 5th. Ms. Ferguson, what time?
In the morning.
All right, so we'll be back on July 5th at 11 a.m.
11. Okay, Judge.
And we'll have a hearing on your motion to set a bond at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions?
None from the defense. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. You got something?
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, let me put this in here. All right. Aisha Esperanza. I'm sorry, Esparza. Brenda, I'm just making up names today. All right, where is Esparza?
Your Honor, I've been court appointed to her. All the information that I have tried to contact her. I haven't had any communication with her, Judge.
All right, is she on bond? Can someone double check, make sure she's on bond? It's Aisha Esparza, 2020 CR 3648. Just one moment, we'll make sure that she is on bond, and then we'll proceed.
Troy Pace, Troy Pace.
No, it's Aisha Esparza,
What's the case number again?
2020 CR 3640. All right, is there a prosecutor available?
I can do it, Judge.
Thank you. Court is calling. I'm sorry, Brenda, you ready? I'm just like moving. Court is calling 2020 CR 3640, State of Texas versus Aisha Esparza. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
Charles Mace for the defense, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, this hearing was set at 9 a.m. It is now 9:35 a.m. The court called the docket at 9 a.m. and Aisha Esparza did not answer, and she has not answered again. Deputy Laura, has there been an Aisha Esparza?
No, Your Honor, she has not.
All right, defense, do you have any information on the location of your client?
No, Your Honor, the information I got is from the jail, what she provided the jail. And I've tried to call those numbers several times, or that number several times. And there is no response, no answer, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. State would make a motion to have her bond forfeited and ask you to issue a warrant.
All right, that will be granted and she'll be remanded without bond. As soon as your client presents herself to the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Now be excused.
Yes. All right. Sir Galaddin Abdelati.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Your Honor, we have an agreement on these motions.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning. All right, let's go on the record. Court is calling CM 095942, 095938, 095941, State of Texas versus Sarah Geldin, Ahmed Abdelatif. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Yes, Judge. Raul Jordan for the state of Texas.
For the
Christina
defense?
McDonald for the defendant.
And are you Mr.?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at
Oh, I thought you were going to say your last name for you. Are you Mr.
Abdelatif.
Abdelatif? Okay. The more you say it, I'll get it correct. All right, the court is in receipt of the defendant's motion to modify bond conditions. My understanding, an agreement has been reached. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. The state and the defense have been able to agree that it could be modified to partial GPS, allowing the defendant to go to and from work.
And
Is
Your
that big?
Sorry, Judge. Yes, that's correct. And just for the record, my client is already has a job opportunity in mind at Popcorn Motors. Occasionally, he might have to work overnights, but it should be just occasionally, Judge. I'd let my client know that he would have to provide that schedule at a pretrial, and that I would let the court know about those hours as well.
Okay. And what's the name of the location again?
Top Car Motors.
Oh, sorry. Popcorn.
Top Car. Okay.
Top Car.
I thought it was pop. I thought she was saying
I
popcorn.
wrote
Motors.
that down in my notes. I must have it on the phone.
All right, let me see which box this is. All right, and I don't have the ability. I will say that fees past and present are waived, but it's a third-party contract. I have no authority, and they will honor that when I say it. But I'll check that. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
And does he actually have the job?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you'll need to provide proof of employment and a work schedule.
How do I provide? Okay, no problem. No problem.
Okay, sure. And state, where are we on this case?
Judge, I believe the felony was indicted last week, and the misdemeanor is being filed through information last week as well. This should be coming up soon from that for a potential trial setting or hearing. Judge.
Okay. All right, the clerk will give you a copy of that. All right, thank you. Your excuse.
Thank
Thank you. Who is here on Tyrell Shirley? Tyrell Shirley. Patrick Vargas.
I'm present for Mr. Vargas, Judge.
And where is Mr. Vargas?
That is the update, Your Honor. He is in federal custody. Let me give the court some information. He's in federal custody in San Angelo. He is set for sentencing on March 23rd, 2023. His attorney is Charles King.
You say March 23rd?
2023, Your Honor.
All right, where's the state? I'm Patrick Vargas. Is that criminal trial division?
Oh,
No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's listed as 701.
Bargain, I believe. is ours.
Page 7.
No problem. You said the attorney in federal was who?
Charles King.
That's the prosecutor.
No, that's the defense lawyer.
Okay.
And his federal case number, Your Honor, is 20 CR 01262. And that's out of Delaware.
All right, so state, I'm being told by the defense that he is not going to be sentenced in federal custody until March of 2023.
Let me look at the case, Judge. It's been a while. And maybe I'll be able to provide some insight to the court and defense about the state's intent.
All right, and do you have any idea what his expected sentence is?
Yes, Your Honor, according to Mr. King, his range is from 46 to 57 months.
What's it for?
And look, everybody's doing their math in their head.
A little less than 4 years. So a little over 4 years.
Everybody's like,
I
what?
don't-
All right,
It's just a little bit of attention. But it doesn't
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Vargas, please? And we'll see where we are.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, she's gonna give you a reset form. All right, we're gonna come back on July 18th.
Let me just cross over just 21, 554.
Yeah, I got it.
He's got three.
I will get it. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Stephen Acosta.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Present on that matter, my understanding is that he's in federal custody on charges related to the stop in this case.
Okay, why is everybody whispering? Is it me or is everybody whispering?
Am I whispering?
Yeah, I think people are whispering. Are you able to hear people?
I barely, but.
Yeah, I'm like, there's whisper.
Judge, he's in federal custody on charges related to stop in this case, is my understanding.
All right, who is the felony prosecutor on Stephen Acosta? It's a criminal trial division.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think maybe what we can look into. I heard he's in federal custody.
Yes. So is he serving a sentence in federal custody?
No, my understanding, Judge, is that he was arrested on charges related to this matter.
All right, so the pending federal charge is related to this unlawfully carrying
Yes.
weapons with conviction. All right, so do you know who the federal attorney is?
I just found out he was in federal custody, Judge. I expected to see him today.
We can look into it from our end, and maybe Kenneth can look into it from his end. Between the two, maybe we can figure it out.
Okay, you know what, Brenna? Either I'm experiencing deja vu. This has happened before with this same case. Yeah. And then I said, go over there and talk to Norma. And you all talked to Norma. This was before this was indicted. And I said, hey, what's happened with the federal case?
He was here.
Yeah, he was here, but
Yes.
there was, we knew that there was a federal case that
Okay.
was coming down the pipeline. So when are you going to know something as far as what he's charged with in federal and what's going on?
I will try to contact him, his family, or find his attorney this week and ask what the status is. I can come back this week with what's the status.
All right, can I have a 30-day reset on Acosta? All right, we're gonna come back on July 6th. So state if you can look into it as well and find out what your plans are with regards to the disposition. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Do you want them a little closer?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
And then I'll fix the. Will you stand right there for me? Okay, there.
Right here?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you were on.
Good deal. I see myself on camera.
Yeah,
That's, yeah, Zoom is just awful. Judge, can I approach?
just a second.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah, I just got appointed to a case. I think I have.
Hello.
Morning, Your Honor. I was just appointed last week on Thursday to a sex assault cold case from like 20-something years ago. I'm going through discovery and I think I have a conflict of interest. I'll explain and I'll let you decide. The witness to the alleged assault is one of my witnesses in a murder. She's the mother of the murder defendant that we're going to be calling as a friendly witness. She's also now an adverse witness in this case. I looked at that, I saw, and I said, I don't know if it's a conflict per se, but certainly it's kind of muddying the waters. You see what I'm
Well, I
saying?
mean, if you, it's technically, it's not a conflict, but if you want to be removed from the case since you were just appointed, the court will do that.
I'd feel a lot more comfortable on it. And I just got appointed on Thursday.
All right, and has the case been indicted?
No, no, actually, I don't think I have, which is odd. It's a cold case. It was a DNA hit out of Harris County. Alleged offense date was 2001.
All right, if you talk to Ms. Ferguson, she will put another attorney on it because you were appointed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
If you talk to her, she'll change that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Y'all have a good week.
All right, you too. We're going to try to.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, Amber Plata.
I feel like this is getting more further forward. Is that okay, Judge? This is
Okay.
getting, they're pushing it like.
No,
to the-
I asked her.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because it was, everybody was whispering.
Yeah.
I guess, is this a holiday, a whisper holiday?
Maybe it is. They whisper.
All right, we still will not do the close talker Seinfeld style. We still won't do that. Yes, you have a motion to reinstate bond?
I do, Judge, and it looks like this case is going to be transferred to the 437th, but we're still hoping to get my client's bond either reinstated or set at a reasonable
All right, when
amount.
is this getting transferred to the 437?
So apparently
I just had the transfer done today, right now.
Okay.
there's a co-defendant with an older JN number over there.
All right, so I'm assuming her bond was forfeited because she did not appear.
Yes, ma'am.
And
She
that's
was,
from April.
Thank you so much.
she was on the streets for a while. She is going to be allowed to go back and live with her mother if she's able to bond out.
Why was she on the streets and not living with her mother?
My mom moved from San Antonio into Divine, trying to escape escape of battered.
But isn't she still in Divine?
She moved, yes, I'm moving to Divine with her, just so I can.
No. So here's my train of thought. I want you to try to follow along with me on
Yes.
this. You were supposed to be on court on April 12th, 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
You're saying you were living with your mother,
No.
but then you moved to the streets.
I was living with my grandmother, but my grandmother, due to circumstances, my aunt had to move in with her. So my mom was in a battered woman, I guess, problem issue. And so she fled to Divine, I want to say maybe like 4 months ago. So now that she has a home and she's steady over there, she's saying that from jail, I'm able to move over there.
So why were you not with your grandmother?
Because
All right,
my aunt moved in with her because my aunt lost her apartment. So I
I still don't understand.
just to ease the problems, I left. There was a whole conflict situation because it was this whole, I wasn't working, I wasn't making any money. So basically my grandmother said, you know, your aunt's working, your aunt has a job, she can help me out. And so I went to the streets.
And Judge, my client has no criminal history other than these open cases.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
it's,
we're back to, she's living on the street since April,
yes, ma'am.
supposedly.
Yes.
And she chose that over getting a job. Because people come to me and they say that there's no jobs, but I know there are jobs,
Yes, ma'am.
but sometimes people are like, this particular job is beneath me, so I'm not gonna do
Oh,
that.
no,
You have any children?
I'm at 4. I have
And
4
where
kids.
were they when you were living on the street?
I'm in there in foster care.
All right, so
Yeah.
basically what you're not doing, you're not taking care of your children.
Yes, ma'am.
You're just doing your own thing and somebody else is taking care of your children.
My kids were taken, I chose to try to give my kids a better life just because I just am breaking the cycle because of the way I was raised. I'm trying to make sure they're better.
Okay, so here's the thing, you didn't choose.
Mhm.
What ends up happening is CPS makes a determination that your children are not being properly cared for.
Mhm.
So I know you're not standing before me saying that you knocked on CPS's door and
Oh, no.
said, I want a better life for my children, here, you take them.
Oh, no, ma'am.
So they came in your life and took your poor children and told you you needed to do A, B, C, and D to potentially get your children back, and your choice was not to. Because I know,
Mhm.
because I've done CPS cases, I'm sure your attorney has,
Yes.
that they give you all the help you need, and you have a free babysitter for at least a year, because the taxpayers are paying for that. So look around, everyone who has a job, we're paying for your children to stay in CPS care for you to get your act together.
I work
So
2
that
jobs.
means, no, you were living with your
No, I'm
grandmother,
saying
not,
this
no
was
job.
this is previous, but like when I had my CPS, I was working 2 jobs at the airport. But then I had fell off, and once I lost custody of my kids, then I started doing drugs again, and I was on the street, and I chose not to work.
Yeah, you chose not to
Yes,
work.
ma'am. I did side jobs and this and that, but that went to my drug addiction.
All right, so state, are you in agreement to setting a bond for her?
I mean, Judge, I think we'd ask for a bond that's sufficient. She did pick up 3 new charges a couple weeks ago. She has the cases, it's a fraudulent use, a theft of a vehicle, and a 2nd-degree drug case. At this point, Judge, we'd ask if there is a bond set that it's sufficiently high to secure that we're not in the same situation again, her not showing up to court and her picking up new cases.
All right, have you all reached an agreement on a bond or no?
We haven't discussed that yet.
We didn't even know if you were going to be willing to entertain it since it was being transferred. So I told him to figure out if you want to set a bond first before.
Well, it has officially been transferred. I will tell you this, if you're requesting that I set a bond for her, it's gonna end up being a high bond, and it's going to end up being full GPS. So I don't know if you would like, maybe the 437 would do something differently.
If I could talk with my client for one moment, Judge.
Mark Anthony Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm so used to seeing you in the square, Joseph Stacy.
Yes, nice to see you, Judge.
You should. So what is happening with Mark Anthony Rodriguez?
He had prior counsel who withdrew. He also did the bond for him, so that he off bonded him when he withdrew. I was appointed about a month and a half ago.
Yes.
I had filed a bunch of motions because I was missing some discovery. I conferred with Marcus on it, and I've been texting my client. He texted me that he had tested positive for COVID and that he wasn't going to make it today, but he already has a warrant. I'm trying to work this out. I think that we should be able to get something resolved, hopefully. He's not here today.
And he's on bond?
He was listed on bond, but I believe he's already technically off bonded when the prior attorney withdrew. He was hired.
All right. So, but your client?
He's not here today, and I was going to request a hearing for motions to set. I just need to bring him here to court.
All right, and I need documentation that he is ill.
Yes, Judge.
So what I can do is we can recall this for 2 p.m. Are you able to come back at 2? If not, I can hear the issue for a judge's warrant now.
Yes. I could come back at 2 o'clock.
All right, so we'll come back at 2.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Judge, may we approach again?
Yes, just give me 1 moment. All right, this is coming back at 2 p.m.
Yes.
I spoke with my client. She believes GPS would be good for her and she'd like to go forward.
All right, if you want to talk to the state and see if they can agree on a bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Aaron Ducolet. Aaron Ducolet.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Daphne Property for Sean John's office. And we thought we were here for jury.
Oh, no, this is jury trial docket.
Okay.
Yes, so you're still requesting a jury trial? All right, we're gonna have you come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Is that at 9 a.m., Ms. Ferguson? Okay, all right, we'll see you tomorrow for a jury trial.
At 9. I have a bond hearing in here at 9 also with a different client. So
Sure.
What time is the jury at 1:30?
The jury's at 1:30.
And Mr. Nicolette, you want him to be here as early as 9?
No, he can come in at 1:30.
Okay, thank you very
Well,
much. Like at
let me
1,
say
maybe?
1 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes, we'll
Thank
see you at 1 o'clock.
Do you need us to
And
sign
Mr.
something?
Yes, and Mr. Duclat, the jury is going to be in the hallway. You're not to speak with them or talk to them at all. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, why is everybody whispering today? All right, I don't know what happened. All right, so it'll be at 1 p.m. and you'll be allowed in the courtroom at that time. We'll see you for jury trial.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Brittany, do you see what page?
Yes,
Mr.
he's on page 7.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Judge, I spoke with Ryan and he would agree to 20,000 with the GPS monitor.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe.
Okay. Deputy Laura Amber Plata, we're done. All right, Tyrell Shirley. Tyrell Shirley. Jesus Garza.
Judge, Mr. Garza is in federal custody.
What's happening with that?
Paul Smith is actually his lawyer on that, so he would be better to ask what's going on. When I last spoke with Paul, nothing had happened on it. That was maybe a week ago.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you call Paul Smith to see what's happening with Mr. Jesus Garza? On this federal custody, so just give us a moment, we'll find out.
Thank
what's
you,
happening. You're welcome. David Garcia?
Present, Judge.
Yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Is he on bond?
He is on bond, Judge. I was appointed back in 2020 in September. I've never had contact with him. The phone number that I was given was not a good number, and I had no address for him other than homeless. So I have not had any contact with him. I checked the number again yesterday and today just to see if it would go through. It does not go through. Judge.
All right. Could I have a representative from the state, please?
I can do it.
Thank you. Brenda, are you ready?
Yes.
Court is calling 2022 CR 2712B, State of Texas versus David Michael Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Ryan Groomer for the state.
Patricia Vieta for defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:07 a.m. Mr. David Michael Garcia is not present in the courtroom. Have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Have you attempted to make contact with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
And what contact have you attempted?
Well, I did not have an address for him provided by the appointment sheet. The phone number that was given to me was not a working number at that time. I have periodically checked that number to see if it went back in service. It has not.
All right, state.
State would make a motion to forfeit his bond and have a warrant issued.
That'll be granted. He'll be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Okay, thank you,
All right,
Judge.
thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Abel Montez. Yes, what is happening with Mr. Montez?
I was appointed about 10 days ago. He's got 4 cases. I understand he's got 2 at-large warrants. I've not completed discovery. We do have an offer, which will be good until the next setting.
Mr. Montez, if you can come up, please.
Your Honor.
Good morning. So you say an offer has been tendered,
Yes, sir, has, Judge.
but you're still going through discovery?
Yeah, I haven't done the discovery. I want to do that before to advise him about that.
All right, do you know if there are going to be any other cases?
Well, state says there are 2 at large. I don't know if they're. Are those gonna be brought forward?
State on Abel Montez, are there other cases?
The offer would resolve those if we complete that.
There's 2 at-large cases, Judge. I haven't particularly looked at those in regards to whether they'd be filed or not. I need to talk to the intake attorney specifically on those, but I've given a plea offer that has contemplated all of his pending cases.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Abel Montez, can I have a 30-day reset? July 6th. All right, so Mr. Montez, because you have a new attorney, he's still going through all of the discovery, as you've heard. An offer has been tendered, and it will be best for him to discuss the offer with you and maybe negotiate with the state once he has reviewed all the discovery. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to come back on July 6th at 9 a.m. and you'll be brought over.
Okay, sounds good to me, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ward.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day. Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset date, please? A reset form? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, a reset form for him, because he may find out. I don't know. I don't know if he's remanded without bond or not. Nicholas Henderson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you doing?
What did the court do to deserve that? Is it your
You know,
birthday, Your
it's-
Honor?
No, it is not my birthday. It is a beautiful day. Some days I think we should give gifts to ourselves, you know?
You're hiding an admirer. Your Honor, this Nicholas Henderson, we have mailed a letter to him, not found him, and has not responded since 2020, I think.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go on the record with this. Could I have a prosecutor for Nicholas Henderson, please?
Right, I can do it.
Thank you. The court is calling 2022 CR 4823, State of Texas versus Nicholas Michael Henderson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Groomer for the state.
For the
Luke
defense?
Ortiz for Mr. Henderson.
This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:12 a.m. The defendant has not appeared in the courtroom. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
We've attempted, we've written the man, we've had not heard from him.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge, state would make a motion for bond forfeiture and ask for a warrant to be issued for his arrest.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you are able to present your client, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Oh, when is have you gone to any of the other football matches?
Oh, God, we're going Friday to Austin just because it's nearby. But we have tickets for the US and Iran, and we're attempting to get equally well-priced tickets for Mexico and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have not found a hotel room in Qatar during the World Cup. Actually, we did. It was $3,500 for the night. I'm thinking I'll sleep in a park because I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
But it's an ongoing process. We are going to do the Nile cruise.
Oh, wow.
We're in the area.
Oh, wow, that's gonna be awesome. Be sure to show me photos and stuff.
Take pictures, Judge. I'll tell you all about it.
All right, I'm gonna give you a note just a second.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I can do that.
All right, thank you. Kent Leach.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, Your Honor.
All right, you're the only person who's been up here who's spoken and not whispered. Everybody else is whispering today. So I appreciate that.
Well, it's hot coffee that.
So what is happening with Mr. Leach, and where is Mr. Leach?
He is in the box, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Leach, come on up.
Judge, what's going on is that this is a compliance for medical records.
Yes.
Some additional records that we were to be provided by the state. They're still in the process of attempting to get those records to us. That's the status at this time, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, so state, where are we on these medical records?
Well, Judge, it's different records. The records that we had given him were from the hospital, and he had trouble getting into them, so we needed the password, and that was the issue last time. So I got him that. He's been able to access those records. During the in between that, Tony mentioned that he would like medical records from the jail. And so those are the records that we're now trying to get. My investigator has requested them. I checked this morning. He said that they've been mailed over. He just haven't received them yet.
All right, so they've already mailed them from the jail.
Correct.
I don't know why somebody just didn't walk up to the jail. Comal County is right down the street. I used to, Brenna, when I used to walk to North Comal from the courthouse.
Oh, Comal Street, yeah.
Yes, I'm like, but okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset on Mr. Leach, and this is to make sure that we have the medical record.
Yes, Judge.
All right, June 27th.
Judge, is it possible, I have a vacation letter, is it possible to do an earlier date?
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm going to California.
Look at him enjoying his time, doing his vacation.
I'm driving the grandkids, it's gonna be.
Oh, you're driving? What ages are they?
What's that, Judge?
What ages are they?
5 and 8.
I hope you have videos for them or something while they ride. How long a drive is that?
It's gonna probably, I'm guessing it's gonna take me 2 days, because I'm gonna stop and mess around.
You have to stop and Find if there's like some sites to see along the way. Where is it where you have the giant ball that's covered in rubber band or?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the supposedly the largest ball in the world that's made of rubber bands.
I have no clue.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, so you need to stop there and then they have like different little funny things along the way.
Oh my God, the thing. Have you ever driven?
No.
10 West, like when you get to Arizona, they have this big sign that says, wait till you see the thing. You have to see the thing. There's a big question mark. So I've driven 10 times at least, never stopped for the thing. Except one day I decided, I told Lauren, my wife, I go, I'm gonna stop for the thing. And she was like, really, Tony? I said, yes. So I stopped, went in there, and you paid $2. And it sounds like a gas station, but it's got a huge lot. So I went in there expecting to see something like an unidentified alien or something. Well, the thing was, they took you through centuries. So the sewing machine was the thing in 18 something. The refrigerator was the thing. The stagecoach was the thing. And I'm like, oh my God. I came out and my wife was like, okay, so what's the thing? And I'm like, never mind. Let's just keep going.
Well, this is what happened to us when we were in Scotland. We were going to see the Loch Ness Monster. So they have this whole setup. So we pay our money, and I forget how much it costs. And we go in and they make you watch all these news reels, photographs, and they're like, the end question is, so is it real or not? And then when you open the door, surrounded by a gate, you just see the head of the Loch Ness Monster. So, yeah.
The question is it real?
Or is it not? All right, Norma, what date for Tony?
June 23rd.
It's June 23rd?
Yes.
All right, we'll come back on June 23rd to
Yes,
see
ma'am.
if we have the jail records, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
All right, thank you, bye-bye. Philip Washington. Philip Thomas Washington.
He's in, you have him in the back. Oh, Judge, on that one. with the flower check is still in period. So he can come in.
All right, so what day?
You have that file.
You can take this stuff. I'm sorry, what date?
I think put it in 2 weeks. 27.
All right, Deputy Laura, if you could let him know that we're gonna bring him back on the 27th, and that is Attorney was ill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can we do that tomorrow, please? Thanks. Jesus Monreal. Jesus Monreal. Thomas Manning. Thank you. Hello.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What is happening with Mr. Manning?
Your Honor, I guess there's some type of miscommunication. I've called his home and everything. He needed to be here. And there was something didn't go right, Judge.
All right. So we're gonna put this on the record. Is that prosecutor available?
I can hear you, Judge.
Thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 11393, State of Texas versus Thomas Anthony Manning. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Charles Mason, Your Honor.
All right, this case was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:22 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I have not had any communication. I've called his numbers and left messages, but there has no been, he hasn't returned my calls, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Judge, we're asking that his bond be forfeited and warrant issued.
All right, that'll be granted. The client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to contact your client and they appear, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Your excuse.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And no, I'm done with this. Which- oh, there it is. Yes. thank you.
Okay.
Jesus Monreal. No, I was given the file. I don't know who the attorney is.
It's a status.
A status of what? Okay, let's find out what's happening. Ms. Abrams, what is happening with Jesus Monreal and on the DDRF, please? What's the status?
1 second, Your Honor. He is currently number 60, pending blood work and a mental health eval, which is scheduled on the 9th of June.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, let's recall this for later in the month. Towards the end of the month. All right, so we're going to recall it for June 30th. And I'm sorry, what's the date of the blood work again?
The mental health evaluation is on June the 9th. We do not have a date for blood work.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Deputy Laura, you can have him go back. And is hosted as Jose Edward Gomez, is he in custody?
No.
All right, Jose Edward Gomez. All right, Ms. Abrams, if he doesn't appear, I'll need a motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
He's asking for a week to make a decision.
all right.
Made an offer.
Jesus Garza. Is it Jesus Garza?
Rolando.
All right, can you put the file on Rolando Garza, please? Yes,
I think we have everything worked out. He just needs a little time to breathe.
okay, no problem.
Okay, thanks.
So are you ready to proceed?
No, he's asking the court to grant him 1 week to come back and take the plea bargain off for the motion to revoke to present to the court.
Is it Rolando Garza?
Mercado, my apologies. My apologies to the court.
It's Mercado. Yes.
That's very embarrassing. Sorry.
All right, Mr. Mercado. Something's gonna happen with this case today. So whatever decision you're gonna make, you need to make it today. You understand? All right, thank you. Robert Guevara. Robert Guevara.
Mr. Sawyer. She's calling you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I was confirmed to say Mr. Guevara, who has several felonies, he's got a new case headed his way on the family violence side.
Okay, and where is Mr. Guevara?
Custody.
All right, Mr. Guevara.
I don't think they brought him out yet. I will leave. I just want to touch base with the court and show what I'm doing.
Okay.
Family violence, I'm gonna get it indicted, get it all together. I'll talk to Mr. Guevara when he gets out, see what we can do.
Okay, if you just let them know to
But
bring him
I
out.
just found out about the unindicted case.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, this is done.
For the end.
Yes.
My client wants to talk to the quarterback getting another lawyer.
Mr. Mercado, can you come forward, please?
And he's being very polite. I'm not.
That's okay. All right. Do you have money to hire an attorney?
I'll be employing Eduardo Jimenez,
When is this happening?
which should be happening within the next week.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, see if Eduardo Jimenez is available to come over here today. We're gonna see if you're employing him or not. So just have a seat in the office.
Just so no misunderstanding, I did not say he hired him, he said he intends to hire him.
Yep, we're gonna see.
No problem.
That's gonna happen.
Yes.
Hi, Judge.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Daniel Flores.
I'll have a file.
Oh.
All right, Daniel Flores.
Hi, Judge.
Yes, what's happening on Daniel Flores and where is Daniel Flores?
He's back there, Judge.
All right, Daniel Flores, come up, please. All right, yes, what is happening?
Judge, I conferred with the state and there's still some outstanding records that we have not received.
What records?
Judge, on both sides, I know defense had subpoenaed some documents from the school district, and after reviewing the CPS records, there were some video files that were missing, and it didn't appear to be a complete copy of the CPS records, so we requested those last week.
Okay, this case is an old case. This was indicted in 2021. We don't have the records.
We have them, it's just they don't appear to be complete. So we've requested a complete copy of everything. Hopefully it won't take very long to get those.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for the end of June, and any records that are not here or somebody hasn't given you, then witnesses need to be subpoenaed and brought to court. All right, so we're gonna come back on June 30th. Has an offer been tendered in this case?
I believe a previous offer was tendered. We've been conferring.
All right, June 30th. We'll come back on that, and that's gonna be the plea deadline date. All right, and Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Alex Cariaga.
Judge, I'm present for Mr. Cariaga.
And where is?
He did not show up to court this morning. And so can I get some time to see if my office can try to locate him?
He's supposed to be here, so we're gonna go with the record.
Okay.
All right, is there a prosecutor available? All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 4819, State of Texas versus Alex Cariaga. And I have parties announced for the record for the state. Brittany Starks for the defense.
Anita calling on behalf of Mr. Cariaga.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:38. I'm sorry, 10:35 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Judge. The last numbers that we've had for him, we've tried to locate him, but we haven't been successful.
Court reporter can't hear you. You're whispering.
Oh, I said the last numbers we've had for him, we tried to locate him, but we have been unsuccessful.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge, we'd ask that you forfeit his bond and issue.
All right, that'll be granted. He'll be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you see what page that's on?
Page 13 at the very bottom.
All right, thank you. Jose Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor, he's in custody.
Yes, what is happening with this?
Your Honor, I've been confirming Mr. Groomer and Mr. Gonzalez. I gave them an additional flash drive for some discovery that they needed to give me, so that's gonna be done today, I hope. And Mr. Groomer needs to confer with the victim's family about a plea offer, and that is where we are.
This is an old case. And where is Mr. Jose Gonzalez?
He's in custody, Judge.
All right, is he out?
No.
All right, so let's have him brought out.
Yes,
And
Your
then
Honor.
I'll take up this matter.
That's right.
It is an older case. Also, Judge, it was incompetency for a while too. That's one of the reasons for the age. It was evaluated as competency.
All right, accidentally. All right, thank you. And any update on Mr. Eduardo Jimenez? All right, thank you.
Now, I have. With original. One.
That's the one I'm looking at.
There should be
Thanks, Norman.
And the court. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're working on the particular short.
Yes. You just said it.
Robert? Luis?
All right, are we back on Jose Gonzalez?
I know, that's why.
Oh, Paul Smith.
Yep.
What was the case?
Jesse Garza.
We have Jesse Garza. Is it Jesus Garza? Jesus or Jesse?
Oh, God. Well, it's 20, it probably is Jesus, 2021-5548, and he's got 3 cases.
All right. Mr. Smith, on this one, the defense has told me that you're the attorney in the federal case.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What is the status of that?
We have just gotten a scheduling order from Judge Barry. He is in El Reno, Nevada, or El Reno, Oklahoma.
Oh, I have absolutely no idea.
They moved him again.
He's not even in Texas?
No, not
Oh
right
my
now.
God. I didn't know it worked that way.
All right, so what is the schedule?
I'm supposed to meet with him around the the 21st of June that week. I've got a conference set with him, negotiate or talk about the federal case. I can report back after that and let the court know where we are.
All right, so, and that's June 21st?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set Mr. Garza at the beginning of July? All right, so we'll come back on July 11th, and if you can make sure that you give Ms. Kramer an update so we'll know. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
State Criminal Trial Division on Jesus Garza. My understanding, he's in federal custody. Mr. Smith is the attorney, so we're calling that back on July 11th.
Okay, Judge. Judge, I also have Steve Acosta. We're going to be discussing those charges. He was taken to federal custody. They're the same thing. We'll submit a dismissal sometime today.
All right, thank you.
Jesse Carson. No, not that. Steve Acosta. They all work. No, not that I'm aware
Yes, I did see you putting on that Paul Smith is his attorney. Jesus Gonzalez. Jesus Constancio Gonzalez.
Jose Gonzalez, Judge?
Oh, yeah, it is. Brenda, my glasses are failing me tremendously. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, I think this is your case. All right, so has he been brought out?
Not yet, Judge.
Okay, why do I have this? He's not out. Robert Guevara.
Yeah, approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have conferred with the state. We've got something working out. I get about a 10-day reset and they just take care of the whole thing on both sides.
Okay, has he been brought out?
Yes. Well, I just conferred with
Mr.
him.
Guevara, if you can come up, please. And Ms. Ferguson, I have a 10-day reset on Mr. Guevara.
I can do June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Let's do, I'm sorry, let's do June 27th.
All right, so Mr. Guevara, we're gonna bring you back on June 27th. They're gonna give you a reset form, okay?
Just need your autograph. I'm coming back on the 27th. Just need your okay. So confirm your case.
All right, is there anything else, Mr. Guevara?
That's all we have right now, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset form?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ferguson, if you'll put down that that's for disposition. Luis Alvarado?
Yes, Judge.
Yes. Yes.
We received a plea offer today.
Mhm.
I've expressed it to Mr. Alvarado. We're not accepting that offer. We're asking maybe more time to confer and decide maybe on a counter offer.
All right. Do you have all the discovery?
I believe so, with one exception.
We're working on running down one thing, Judge, from a lay witness. It's not, we've had some issues with that, but as soon as I get it, I'll get it to Scott.
When do you anticipate having that?
We've set up 2 appointments for her to drop it off, and she is no-showed on both appointments. So I'm working on it, Judge. I can't get someone to come down here with it. We met her. When we met her, we needed her to bring something down for our IT department. And like I said, we've had 2 appointments that she's not shown up.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for a plea deadline date at the end of this month?
I can do,
June 28th or June 30th?
June 28th, I'm here on another case anyway. So that works.
All right, Mr. Alvarado, that's your plea deadline date. After that, the court is not going to accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you need to make a decision by that date. All right, if there is nothing else from either side.
Thank you.
Do you still need to speak with your client?
No.
All right, Mr. Alvarado can go back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Monreal?
Monreal? Jesus Monreal?
Oh, you know what? I'll call you back.
Brenda, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, can I have the parties on Anthony Luis Ortiz? Who's here for Anthony Luis Ortiz? And good morning. Great. How's it going?
Good, good.
We're gonna have the prosecutor, please. Court is calling 2022 CR 1468, State of Texas versus Anthony Luis Ortiz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Stacy Gross.
And are you Anthony Luis Ortiz?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Judge, I have received all of the discovery in this case, and I have talked with Anthony about the discovery, but we've not reviewed it because he's been in custody.
All right, any objections to proceeding?
No, Judge.
Mr. Ortiz, do you have any objections to proceeding?
No, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ortiz, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge. Proceeding on count one, waiving count two.
Any objection?
No objections.
Mr. Ortiz, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're charged with in count one theft of a vehicle, 2,500 to 30,000?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Ortiz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than a plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count one. There's a $1,000 fine probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of any to Fernando Gonzalez, and that's Gonzalez with a Z, and no contact with Fernando Gonzalez. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
We have one minor amendment to that. We do have a restitution amount of $150 we're agreeing upon.
Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, and one other amendment. Sorry, it happened after we had turned in the paperwork.
Mhm.
So the restitution amount should be $150, and then it's the case is to be run concurrent with 661447.
All right, if both parties could initial. Mr. Ortiz, do you understand that the agreed amount of restitution is $150? Did you
Yes.
understand that's the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you also understand that the agreement was that this case was to run concurrent with 6614447? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the entirety of the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the entirety of the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Ortiz, do you understand that to be the entirety of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, CATs 1 and 2, or the anti-theft class. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state? And the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea.
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Ortiz, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept the evidence, State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. How the court will defer finding of guilt as you will apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we're just asking that you follow the agreement. The only other thing is he does live in Corpus Christi. He does not live here, so we're asking for his probation to be transferred to Corpus Christi.
Was the vehicle was stolen in Bear County? What were you doing in Bear County other than taking a vehicle?
I came over here to live with my sister previously, and things didn't go too well living there. So I went out to the streets willingly, and I was supposed to be at the Haven for Hope shelter. That's where they took me in at, and I left the Haven for Hope and went out to the streets. And
How old are you?
Right now?
Yes.
I'm 25 years old now.
How old is your sister?
She is 27.
Why were you living with your sister?
Because I had got through surgery in Corpus Christi when I was living there, and I couldn't pay for my house no more. I couldn't pay for where I was living at anymore. So she told me to come to San Antonio, to come live with her until I recover from my surgery. And things didn't go too well with me and my brother-in-law. So
what surgery?
I had a surgery on my femur bone, man. I broke my femur bone in 3 different places. And they had to surgically put 5 to 10 year rods in my leg for it to be put that together. And I was healing for up to 6 months to 2 years. And she told me to come live with her for the meantime
things didn't go too well after my healing went, and I went out to the streets, ma'am.
And where's your mother and father?
They live in Fort Worth, ma'am,
So why didn't you go with them?
because I was hard-headed, and my mother, she took off to Fort Worth, and it was my choice to stay in Corpus Christi. And things
Do you
didn't
have
go
any
too.
children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have 2 girls, 1 boy. One's 5, the other one's 3, and my baby boy is 1 year old.
How are they supporting themselves?
The mother. Yes, ma'am.
Are you active in their life?
I talk to them every day. While I'm in here, I plan on getting my relationship better back with my family, and I plan on being in my children's lives more than my father was. I plan on changing my life. Yes, ma'am.
All right, because at some point, I picking up on a little bit that there's some blame for your father, but I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else. At some point, your actions are your own. You can't continue to blame it on your father and what your father did or didn't do and what your mother did or didn't do.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you know better.
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated, ma'am.
What are you doing with your life other than taking cars that don't belong to you?
I'm actually a apprenticeship plumber, and I have my Texas State Board of Examiners and Texas Plumbing Examiners. And I was doing that for a couple of years, and I was making very good money for myself. Until I wrecked my car in Fort Worth, and I had a DWI case, and I went to just street life, drinking and acting a fool. Doing things I shouldn't have been doing now. That I truly regret.
All right, well, I'll tell you, once you have a felony, whether it's deferred or not, any occupation that you're seeking that requires a license, it becomes more difficult, if not impossible, to get that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. $1,000 fine, probated.
Yes, ma'am.
This will run concurrent with 661147. Restitution to Fernando Cortez of $150 and no contact with Fernando Cortez.
Judges Gonzalez.
Why am I saying Cortez? Brenda, it's been a Monday. Thank you. And everybody else is just going along with it. Thank you, Marcus, for not going along with that. So it's Fernando Gonzalez. So restitution to Fernando Gonzalez of $150, no contact with Fernando Gonzalez. And who is Natasha Dirks to you?
That was my previous ex-girlfriend that is no longer existing.
What do you mean previous ex?
That's when I got put over with the vehicle. I was with her at the time.
Do you have any children with her?
No, ma'am.
There's to be no contact with Natasha Dirks. And I hope you know that that vehicle that Mr. Cortez has will never be the same.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Why
ma'am.
do I keep saying Cortez? I'm telling you, there's Cortez written in this police report, Brenda. Somewhere it is. I hope you know that this vehicle will never be the same for Mr. Gonzalez. One, because you were smoking marijuana in it, so that marijuana scent is not going anywhere. I don't care if he takes it to get it detailed, it's still gonna be in there. Number two, a vehicle really is never the same when people who are not invited to be in the vehicle starts driving it.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's gonna be parenting classes. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors.
Yes, ma'am.
150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining hours will be waived upon completion of parenting classes.
May I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes.
What if I have already got proof of the vaccination and I have already got
You
it?
just have to present that to them.
And you did parenting classes, you don't have to do the rest of the classes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They want you to do cats 1 and 2 or the anti-theft class. So why is there a cats 1 and 2 or anti-theft class?
So CATS is specific to an organization, and what he was actually wanting was an anti-theft class, so that's why we did that.
All right, so we'll say anti-theft class. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Field visits 1 time per month. Is he going to be living in Bear County or transfer?
Transferring to Corpus, Judge, he lives in Corpus.
All right, transfer to Corpus. What county is that?
Nueces County, ma'am.
All right, transfer to Nueces County. Are you not transferred there until you're actually transferred there? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
No, Your Honor, you did not mention a tab.
Oh, yeah.
Did you want a tab done?
Just gonna do regular UAs.
Okay.
All right, those UAs need to be clean. Otherwise, you're gonna have another course dumped on you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, are we gonna have any problem with you using drugs?
No, ma'am.
I noticed what was in that vehicle, so don't use.
No, ma'am.
Would you test positive like today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, they're giving you an anti-theft course. Here's my anti-theft course for you. Don't take what doesn't belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And as a side note, if you're ever invited into some place and they ask you to leave, leave.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't go to a place that you're not invited to.
Yes, ma'am.
So you know what that means? So that means if you're with friends and they say, oh, I heard about this party here, don't go because you have not been invited.
Yes, ma'am.
So they're gonna, I don't know how many courses or how many classes the anti-theft course is, but that's my 5-second thing on theft. Don't steal.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation is gonna go over conditions with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he being taken over there then?
Oh, no, just take a seat in the box.
Okay.
All right, and then you have Mr. Chrisman.
Oh, yes, Judge. Hi.
Yes.
So Sean Chrisman, I withdrew from all of his cases. There's been a breakdown in communication with the client. And we're not, on the same page anymore. He is in federal custody right now, but I have discussed the fact that I am withdrawing from his cases and he is not opposed.
Okay, it has Courtney Daly listed.
Yes, we're both the attorneys of record on these cases. The appearance had both of our names on it.
Okay, so. do you
But
know
Courtney withdrew a while ago, I think, and I just don't think it happened because she had to withdraw from all of her cases when she got a job in Hill Country.
Okay. All right, could I have a prosecutor, please? And
And
this is
Judge, I
just
am
the
going to be
motion to withdraw.
requesting a court-appointed attorney in my place for him.
Well, we need to find him. Who is the federal attorney?
Let me see if I have his information because I believe I've spoken to him.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's not here, Judge. It's in another location.
All right, if you'll let the court know who the federal attorney is, please.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go on the record, NIMAC number 600-888 and 615-830. State of Texas versus Sean Tomislav Chrisman. Map parties announced for the record, please.
Marcus Sanders for the state.
For the
Cecil
defense.
Kraus.
All right, Ms. Cross, you've filed a motion to withdraw. These cases have not been indicted. Is your client aware of your motion to withdraw?
Yes, Judge.
And does your client have any objections to the motion to withdraw?
No objections, Judge.
All right, defense, any objections to the motion to withdraw?
You state.
No objections from the state.
I'm sorry, state. Brenna, it's one of those days. You know why this is happening? Because I'm still thinking of my niece.
Yeah.
I want to be back with her. Babies will do that. All right, here you are. Your motion is granted.
Thank you, Judge. I just had it on my face.
All right, who is on Sean Aaron Smith? Yes.
So these cases have been, they were initially second and third degree felonies, but they were indicted as habitual, and I'm not on the first degree list. So I just asked for for an attorney on the first degree list to be appointed.
Okay, and where
And
is
then
Mr.?
I just checked to see, I thought he was in custody. He's actually not in custody here, but he's with the feds.
Do you know who the federal attorney is?
I do not. I don't do any federal.
Do you know if the federal case is based upon this?
That I don't know either. It's cocaine and it sounds like trafficking, but the state may know more than I.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Sean Smith? Yes. So my understanding is that there are federal charges and he's in federal custody from the defense.
I was told that this morning from the defense, yes, Judge.
All right, if you all can review that, because it may be the fact that the state case is similar to the federal case.
Okay, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Smith, can we set this at the end of the month, please? All right, we're gonna do June 30th. And if you'll file your motion to withdraw.
Okay, I'm out of town beginning Thursday until the
Oh,
end
no,
of the month.
just file it before that.
Okay, well then,
Yes.
I'll do that today.
Igor Linsky. I'm gonna take this matter out. Picking up this matter.
Okay, am I just gonna have to sit here until the other lawyer shows up?
The other lawyer is coming down.
Then may I be seated?
No, you may not.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Court. It's a beautiful day. Court is calling 2022 CR 0266 State of Texas versus Igor Linsky. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Carissa Chalkowski from Mr. Alinsky.
And are you Mr. Linsky?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor, and I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Linsky, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on count 1 and waiving count 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Alinsky, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with violation, protective order, assault, stalking? I'm sorry, this is written backwards. Just 1 second. All right, we're back on the record. You're charged with offensive violation, bond, protective order, assault, stalking. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison
Yes, Your Honor.
and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Linsky, has anyone threatened to coerce you or place you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, Your
Are
Honor.
you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count one. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 656-156, and there's judgment satisfied in the parentheses. So has this been pled to or no?
Not yet. Here.
And so I'm assuming your agreement is that he's to plead to judgment satisfied?
Yes, I'm gonna call part 15 to get him on a docket.
All right, the causes to be taken into consideration are County Court Cause number 656-155, 685-313, grand jury number 767-287, 774493. Restitution is to be determined, and that's to be paid to Deidre Alinsky. McMillan evaluation, TAP evaluation, follow recommendations, the BIPP, no contact with the complainant, affirmative finding of family violence, and an order destroying the firearm collected. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the agreement?
That is the agreement, and the firearm that was collected, that was on the most recent case. We filed an agreed motion to have that destroyed.
All right, once the court receives that, I will sign that. Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that you defer adjudication be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers States Exhibit 1 and its attachments into evidence.
We have no objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Alinsky, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. How the court would defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing or is there going to be a PSI?
We would like to waive sentencing, or PSI.
State any objection to the waiver?
No objection.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Linsky, he has struggled since he was a young boy with his mental health. He is currently, we actually went through the mental health PTD evaluation program, and he actually was a good candidate until he picked up his most recent arrest. All of his arrests and all of these problems are stem from his interactions with his wife, possibly soon to be ex-wife, but he is very dedicated to his family. I will say, and I believe the state would agree with me on this, all of the incidences of the violation of protective order, he has been at his place of, for his GPS unit, he has been at his place that he's agreed with the court, where he will be like his home base for the GPS. She has come there. We're not saying that it's an excuse or reason, but we just like to point that out to the court. He's not going after her or anything like that. It's an unfortunate situation between the two of them. I think there's a lot that needs to be worked out in family court. However, with his current, he does need mental health treatment. He is current with his doctor. He is current on his medication, but it's a lifelong struggle with him, and it's going to continue to be a lifelong struggle with him. It's extremely unfortunate. He's an extremely intelligent person. He had a full ride to UT at one point, but because of his mental health struggles, it's just been this almost spiraling events in his life, and he does want to. I've talked to probation about the MyOff program and the MIC docket. Sounds like a lot of things that he would benefit from wholeheartedly, and he wants to do anything and everything that is available to him, and the court would be willing to allow him to do.
All right, state, is the complainant aware of this agreement?
She is, Your Honor. She wants him to get treatment.
Okay. All right, do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
2 years old.
And are they with the complainant?
No, my mother and father.
And are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work for a psychiatry clinic. I proofread referrals.
His mother is a psychiatrist, Your Honor, and he was working for her because that was the only thing that he could do when he was in home arrest, like with the GPS unit. So he was working for her. He actually was given a job, but because of the rearrest, he hasn't been able to start it. But and correct me if I'm wrong, but computer software with a health organization.
Yes.
It was mainly online, but because he's been in custody for a few weeks, we'll have to see if he still has that job.
All right, so I'm going to put him on GPS. So the only question is, state, are you in agreement to allow him to be employed while on GPS?
We're fine with work release on GPS. We'd ask for documentation.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine, probated. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 656156. The court will show that the plea bargain agreement in that case is for judgment satisfied. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 656155, 685313, grand jury numbers 767-287, 774-493, restitution, and no contact with Deidre Alinsky. If she appears at your residence, you need to call the police because you are not supposed to have any contact with her. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's going to be a MIC evaluation out of custody. A medical release is to be signed for your current doctors. There's 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours we waive if you provide proof of COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to obtain the COVID vaccination, but if you do, or if you have, and you provide proof of that, that includes the booster, then 40 hours will be waived. There's going to be parenting classes. The remaining of the community service hours will be waived once you complete parenting classes. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Random field visits 2 times per month. BIPP course. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. The weapon is to be destroyed. GPS, waive fees. And that's to be partial GPS. Defendant allowed to work upon proof of employment and work schedule. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the defense. Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
Your Honor, did you mention regular urinalysis?
No, thank you. There'll be regular UAs. All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what an weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to consult your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then the court has the motion to destroy, so that has been signed. Is there anything else for me to sign?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me see the file on Mikado, please. Mama, can you see where Mr. Jimenez is? All right, so Mr. Mercado, this is set for a contested hearing today, and it's scheduled for at 1:30. It's set for a contested hearing. So if you have an attorney that's hired, that attorney needs to be here at 1:30 today for a contested hearing. And if that attorney is not hired, then your attorney who's present in court, Mr. Sherman. Hi, this is set for a contested hearing at 1:30 today. So if his attorney, if he doesn't have a hired attorney by 1:30 in here, then you'll be handling the contested hearing. You're welcome. Yes, you may be excused, and we'll see you back at 1:30. Alma Barrera. Good morning. What's happening with Ms. Barrera?
We have an offer. She's mulling it over a little bit.
Where is she?
She's in the room in the back there.
Okay, have her come up.
Okay.
Which case are you on here for?
Mr. Jose Gonzalez, Your Honor.
All right, so just give me a moment. Ms. Barrera, my understanding is you wanted to think about the state's offer?
Yes,
All right, how much time are you requesting to think about the offer?
I don't know. I called Richard Langdon, but he's retiring. And he sent somebody else, but I don't know if they're gonna show up.
No, that's not my question.
Not today.
So we're gonna call this back on Wednesday. Ms. Ferguson, can you recall Miss Alma Burrell back on Wednesday? And on Wednesday, you need to let me know if you're accepting this offer or not. No, I'm sorry, not Wednesday, Thursday. All right, Thursday. We'll see you back on Thursday. On Thursday, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. All right, so we will see you back on the 9th. They'll give you a reset form.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Daryl Mercado, Your Honor.
Yes, that's a contested hearing this afternoon at 1:30. So are you representing him?
I had agreed to represent him, but I didn't know that I believe if he's gonna do an uncontested hearing, it's in his best interest that his prior attorney take care of that, because I'm not prepared. I was just called this weekend about his needs, and I did not know he had a contested hearing this afternoon.
Yes, he does.
So I think it would be irresponsible if I tried to allow him to hire me right before he's got a contested hearing, and that I'm obviously not prepared for.
Okay.
So I have to let him maintain his current attorney for that.
All right, thank you for
All right.
coming in. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Judge.
that.
All right.
Brendan, what page is Alma on? All right, thank you. All right, what is happening with Jose Gonzalez?
He's present, Judge. They brought him over from the back.
Oh, come on. So my understanding, okay, so what is the issue?
The issue?
Judge, I think we just need to make, I've been talking with Alfonso a little bit about this case. I'm finishing a few things of discovery, but I guess the bigger issue is I need to make him an offer, but I would like to bring the family in to talk to them. I just like a reset to do that. And then after that, at least we'll know where he stands on that front.
All right, how much time are you asking for to make that offer?
30 days, regular 30 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson?
We can only bring families in on Fridays, Judge, so it's kind of,
Okay.
that's the only days we can bring one.
Can you recall this for in 30 days, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes. You can ask for everyone.
All right, state's gonna make an offer on July 12th. After that, I'm giving you a plea deadline date. Then after that, it's gonna move pretty quickly for a jury trial. Your plea deadline date, it's gonna be a plea deadline date plus a jury trial date. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Judge, I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
I was told, I think that since it's a parole hearing, y'all are in possession, y'all can get those. The tapes from the hearings. Since it's a state. So you see, but I'm told that there was a parole hearing on December the 8th. And these people testified at the parole. I think hopefully that these, according to him, that's gonna be beneficial to us. Even the parole officer said, yeah, it was kind of easy, but I asked the parole officer, goes, well, I'm good for the day before, so I don't know if you can, if not, let me know, we'll try to figure out other ones. All right, thank you very much. Can I approach on that one? Kind of get their cue.
Albert Villarreal.
Set today, yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Hello. What's happening with Albert Villarreal?
We don't quite have an offer yet. I don't think the city has talked to you yet.
Have they state?
Judge, this is one where the victim is represented by counsel. We've already reached out to the defense attorney just to make sure it's okay to speak with her. We haven't heard back from the defense attorney yet, so we just have some more time.
Okay, who's the defense attorney?
Sharon Thorne is her defense attorney on an unrelated misdemeanor case.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, can I get a 30-day reset on Albert Villarreal, please?
Thank you.
He's gonna need to sign the reset forms. All right, July 11th.
That may take some time.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's fine. Check it out. Let me know.
All right, who is here on Jason J. Solomon?
That would be me, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, is there an agreement or no?
Yes, Judge, I got a proposed order here for you.
And what is he charged with?
Arson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and is there any type of no contact order in place?
There should be, Judge, on the events page, it did say there's no contact orders. Obviously, that would still remain in place.
All right, so there should be no contact, you understand? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Who's here on Omar Kalunga?
I am Judge.
All right, where's Omar Kalunga?
I think he's a guest of yours.
Is he a guest?
You on bond?
If he's not out here, we have him right here in the back.
Okay, what is happening with Mr. Kalunga?
I've conferred with Mr. Sanders. He is going to, I've advised him that I'd like him to look into a parole revocation hearing that was held where these witnesses testified at. My understanding, since the parole, that the state has access to those through their stately powers. So he said he agreed to inquire as to how, in the past, the DAs have gotten them for me, so I'm hoping that they can happen. Because I believe it's going to be hopefully helpful to my side.
All right, the last time I did parole hearings, those were recorded.
Right.
So do we know if they keep the recordings for a specific time forever or not?
I don't know the answer to that.
So does anyone know who the hearings officer was for the parole?
No.
No, Judge, this is the first I've heard of the parole hearing or.
I just got a letter from my client talking about it.
All right, well, your client should receive a ruling from the hearings officer. Has he received that?
Yes.
All right, so in that, it should have who the hearings officer is. It should have a synopsis of the witnesses' testimony. And
Okay.
you'll be able to contact the hearings officer to see if those tapes last. Because I'm not sure if they keep those forever, because it is the government. They only have so many discs that they record on. All right, Deputy Laura, are you able to bring Mr. Kalunga out or
We have
not?
him out here, back here. I need someone to.
I can ask him back here if he knows the answers to those questions.
Oh, no, Deputy Laura, is that okay? Or,
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody's off the way.
okay.
Kalunga.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Kalunga? Okay. And who are the parties on Daniel Rosas?
Bridget Garza.
Come up, please. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 4826, State of Texas versus Daniel Rosas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michael Villarreal for the state.
for the defense?
Bridget Garza for defense.
And are you Daniel Rosas?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rojas, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, state's waiving and abandoning the repeat offender allegation.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojas, I'm showing you, Rosas, sorry, showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you're charged with violation of sex offender registration annually? That's
Yes,
a
ma'am.
third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent? Sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by doing? Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosas, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, and Chapter 62 compliance. Do you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Until the offense is charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state up for safety exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
Any
No,
corrections?
no objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosas, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witness statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we're asking the court to follow the recommendation of the ADA and grant Mr. Rosa's application for probation. He is going to reside with his sister. His sister is moving to San Antonio in a few days. Until she moves to San Antonio, he'll be living at Haven for Hope. He does have secured full-time employment at Steves and Son. He'll be fabricating doors. So he is asking the court to grant his application for probation. He's been in custody for about 90 days, over 90 days.
All right, the court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years, Chapter 62 compliance, 120 hours community service restitution, 120 hours will be waived upon proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to do that, but once you provide proof of that, and that includes the booster, then the 120 hours will be waived. You understand?
Okay.
The court is aware because of the nature of your offense, there is no community service hours for you.
Okay.
All right. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
Okay.
There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So I don't know if your sister has children or not, but if she does, you're not allowed to be alone with them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting, and you're gonna have to report in person.
Okay.
There's gonna be field visits 2 times per month. Regular UAs. Is there anything else that he needs probation?
Your Honor, did you mention a fine?
No, there's no fine.
Okay. No, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, man, I'm just, because if I get out to be here tomorrow, I'll start work right away. I already got a job lined up
Okay.
to start paying everything.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank
You got
you.
a report?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Court is going to call
Thank you.
2022 CR 2844, State of Texas versus Mariah Blanton. Can I have parties approach?
Bridget Gossett for defense.
Michelle Hayden for the state.
All right, and are you Miss Blanton?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
I need that to be signed. Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Blanton, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication of Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand you're charged with criminal mischief, 2,500 to 30,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, showing you the court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that charge is a state jail felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court will grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes.
Do you believe she's currently confident and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Blanton, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there should be $1,000 fine probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. State will take in consideration 2021 CR 9230, 2021 CR 2844. There's to be restitution of $4,304.93 to Ronald Johnson. There's to be a MIC evaluation, the BIPP course, parenting classes, and no harmful or injurious contact with Ronald Johnson. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, have you been in contact with Mr. Ronald Johnson?
We have, Your Honor.
And does Mr. Johnson wish to have contact?
They
with-
have kids together, so for those purposes, I believe that he does.
They're not living together, are they?
No.
All right, so Ms. Johnson, I'm sorry, Ms. Blackton, the court is not inclined to follow your agreement with regards to the no harmful or injurious contact with Mr. Johnson. Is there a third party that you all can do child exchanges through?
Not really.
There's no grandparents, no aunts, none of that?
I can try with his oldest daughter.
All right, because I'll let you have contact, but that contact will only be for child exchanges. It will not be for anything else. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then did everybody understand that as the plea bargain agreement? Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right, Ms. Blanton.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and no firearm possessions. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 and its attachments into evidence.
No objections, Your Honor.
Ms. Bland, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking the court to follow the recommendation of the ADA. Ms. Blanton has 4 minor children. She has a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. 3 of them are with the complainant, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. She has full-time employment with Tascas. It's a call center. She has been employed with them for the past 4 years. She is actually a supervisor there. And so she gets convicted of an offense, her employment will be in jeopardy. So for that reason alone, so that she can provide for her children, she's asking the court to follow the recommendation of deferred adjudication. She lives in a duplex with her 4 young children. The complainant pays child support periodically for the 2 minor children, for the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old, not for the 5-year-old. They do occasionally have contact just for the exchange of the minor children. They've been together for over 10 years. Their relationship is very volatile. She has suffered domestic violence against Mr. Johnson. And so she understands how important it's going to be for her because she's going to be on
Yeah, and Your Honor,
probation.
I'm just gonna object because that's not any evidence that's been presented.
All right.
She understands how important it's going to be for her to not have any contact with him, for her not to have any hostile contact against him, because she's going to be the one that's on probation if the court grants her application. And so I've gone and I've talked to her about it, and she understands how important it is. And so she's asking the court to give her an opportunity to prove to the court that she can complete this. And she wants to continue working. She wants to get out of that duplex. She wants to further her life. She wants to make a better life for herself and for her children. And so she's asking the court for help. She can better her life.
All right, Ms. Blanton, you drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
Excuse me, ma'am.
If you're drug tested today, and you will be drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative, I don't do drugs.
All right, so what happened on this night?
I had went out with my cousin. He asked me to come over. We got into an argument about how I was dressing.
And how does that turn into damaging his vehicle though?
He had admitted to some cheating. It's been ongoing throughout the whole time we've been together. And
how old are you?
Too old to be acting like that.
But how old are you?
31.
All right, so here's the thing. I don't understand why people don't understand this. If someone does not respect you, then it's time to leave. If someone tells you through their actions or words that they don't want to be with you, then it's time to leave.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's $1,000 fine to be probated, 5 years deferred adjudication, taking consideration 2021 CR 9230, 2021 CR 2844, restitution of $4,304.93 to Ronald Johnson, a MIC evaluation out of custody, BIPP course, parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, no contact with Ronald Johnson outside of child custody exchange, no firearm possession, 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination, which includes the booster. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you provide proof, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining of the community service hours will be waived upon completion of parenting classes. You to report regularly by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs, or you can do the patch. There's going to be field visits 2 times per month.
And Judge, I actually accidentally wrote down the wrong case numbers to be taken into consideration. Those case numbers are 2021 CR 9230 and 2021 CR 9229. And I have those dismissals right here.
All right, so the case numbers to be taken into consideration are 2021 CR 9229 and 2021 CR 9230, correct?
That is correct.
All right, does anyone want to? All right, probation, is there anything else that she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Blanton, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off record. I'm going to explain something to you about child exchanges. Yes.
Judge, one other item, if the court can assess minimum supervisory fees, since she has that.
I've already waived, I prorated her entire fine. All right, this is what I'm going to tell you about child custody agreements. And this is from my experience as a defense attorney and as a prosecutor and as a person who's done civil work. At custody exchanges, do not bring people over that are not related to you during a custody exchange. Don't bring the new boyfriend, because what ends up happening is if you bring your new boyfriend to a custody exchange, there's probably going to be issues. If he brings his new girlfriend to a custody exchange, there's probably going to be issues. Should there be issues when people are bringing their new boyfriend or new girlfriend? No, but there always is. That's the experience that I've had. So just don't do it.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't bring people around your children when you first meet them. All right?
Yes, ma'am. Don't worry, I don't date.
All right, good luck to you.
I'm not looking forward to that right now. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And probation will be with you shortly. Court is calling 2022 CR 3599, State of Texas versus Amelia Bazan. Do I have parties approach? And announce for the record, please.
Ryan Gruber, the state of Texas.
Ron Ross for defense.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client? Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Barzan, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
It's my understanding, Judge, we're proceeding on the lesser included possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram.
That is correct. Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Ms. Barzan, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on a lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement, it gives you more than you bargained for. The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for? All right, off the record for a moment. So is this going to be 180 days in the Bexar County Jail
Correct.
under 1244? Because it's not checked.
What's it, 6 months, just 6 months.
Because it's written on there, it's Bexar County Jail instead of state jail facility.
Okay. It doesn't really matter to us, 6 months.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record. All right, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
You giving up your rights?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
That's okay. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, she has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of charges against her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Barzan, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you into
No,
this
ma'am.
plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived the right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on a less included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the penal code, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain
It
agreement.
is, Judge.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it? And did you
Yes,
sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense, how do you plead? The offense of possession of less than 1 gram. Penalty group 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State would offer state's exhibit number 1.
No objections.
I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I just ask you to go along with the agreement. She's been in jail for 4 months, I believe, and would ask you to give her credit for time served.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 Penal Code, give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. You better do better. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in and out of prison. All right. And there are plenty of places for you to get free drug treatment, okay?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
I'm actually re-entry right now, so.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Good luck. Kalanga is set for July 11th.
You looking at me?
Yes,
Okay, Matt Roach,
yes.
I'm out of the country
Okay,
on the 11th.
all right. When are you returning?
Return on the '28th, and then I'm here, then I leave, then I have to leave again on the 2nd of August.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. When do you actually leave though?
When do I leave? For the July deal, I leave
Yes.
July the 8th. I've got from my client the name of the officer and the list of witnesses who testified at the hearing, and I've given those to Marcus to
All
help
right.
expedite it.
Ms. Ferguson, he's gonna be out of the country, so let's just recall Kalanga for June 30th to see where we are.
Perfect. While I'm talking, can we do the same thing for James Pareda? I've conferred with Marcus also on this case. Marcus has informed me he is not ready yet to make an offer, but if I'd give him a little time, he'd email me an offer. Mr. Pareda has a large number of cases.
Okay, where's Mr. Pareda?
He's in custody as well.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, can you put Mr. Pareda on June 30th as well? And you haven't brought him out, have you? All right, you can send it back.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
fine.
talk to them.
Okay.
All right, and Brenna,
Yes.
we're gonna take our break.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hi, hi, how's it going? Yes. Yes.
I just need a signature.
Sure.
I think you remember that one, right?
Oh, of course. I do. You know what? I do remember. Mine is a steel trap. I can't believe people would ask.